So, before I do anything to this machine, this, isn't very sturdy, so I'm going to have to get in here and clean this up, and I've got a better idea. I think what is going to be a better idea for wiring this, but right now I just want to, I want to put it's got a 3-prong plug on it, the cord. I might be able to reuse that, but anyway, I think I can make some improvements on this, so let me go and get this disassembled and bring it over and show you what I think I'm going to do to this. Yeah. Alright, so I'm not very far into this. I'm just 2 screws into this, and I see some really shady crap going on here. This is just, this is uncalled for at every different level. I am not an electrician, nor do I purport to be one. I just have spent enough time around stuff and watched enough YouTube videos that I can connect, the appropriate wires most of the time. However, I still do make errors and I do things that are wrong. And when I'm in a pinch, I've got some buddies and some really nice neighbors that are into trade. So if I have any real, life and safety kind of electrical issues, I always consult them. Look at that. A lot of grease and grime in there. Anyway, so if I have any electrical issues, I'm not afraid to consult someone. Or, if I've got issues with painting, or grinding, or filing, or threading, or whatever, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm never afraid to ask for help. And when I say ask for help, I mean ask for instruction. I don't know how old I was, but at some point you fall into a trap where you ask other people to do things for you, and that becomes easier, and then people become, very adept at sort of conning people or tricking people or, getting people to do stuff for them, and they're, effectively become useless individuals because they don't know how to do anything. And anyway, so I always, if somebody's willing to take the time to show me, I will always take a lesson any day of the week. This is absolute bullshit. I'm trying to keep the profanity down on the channel, but this is horrible. There's nothing about this that is okay. You don't use duct tape on these things. You don't. I don't know. This is just. Anyway, look at that. What the hell was that? I don't know. This is scary. This whole thing is, done by somebody who really wasn't using their brain. Alright, so anyway, you can see all this bullshit that's going on there. I'm going to cut all this stuff out and bring you back. Alright, so they had this thing. This is a nice switch, actually. This is a 15 amp switch that's in here, but they had it wired like somebody had done it in the dark on drugs or something. You just don't do that. I don't mean to keep going on about it, but it's just horrible. So what I want to do is I want to sort of improve on this. I knew that was janky from the get-go, but I went ahead and bought a quality switch. They sell switches for 49 cents a piece or whatever, but this was a couple dollars more. This is a 20 amp switch. It's got good positive snap action on it. A regular light switch would have worked for this small, I think it's a third or horsepower or a quarter horsepower motor. It's not going to be a lot of amps going through it. So, but anyway, in an abundance of caution, I'd rather go overboard with these things, so I've just got this single pole heavy duty switch. So I think it's called single pole. But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and break the power wire, and it goes through here, so I'll have the black come into here, and then the black going into the motor here, and then this will make it finish that circuit. We'll connect the circuit and disconnect the circuit. So anyway, I think that'll be nice. However, with surface grinders and whatnot, or so many different tools, you have to use your ears to try to figure out how hard the machine is working. And I don't know much. I don't know anything about surface grinders. So I'm assuming that, in a loud environment, and when the air compressor kicks on, or if somebody else was out here in the shop working, your hearing is something that you can't necessarily always rely on, depending on the sort of the conditions around you. Even if it's raining, it gets really loud in here. So anyway, I figure it might be helpful to have a gauge so that, you know, in conjunction with the audible component of it, I can actually see how many amps this machine is drawing, how much of a load is on it as it's working. So what I want to do is have this switch in here and have this amp meter on the other side of it. I think there's enough room to make it fit in here. The only issue is I do not have a hole saw that happens to be this size, so I'm gonna have to do some finagling to get this to fit in there. And so anyway, I'm gonna get going on that, and then get this wired up and bring it back and show you how I've got this worked out. So. Alright, so what you're looking at now is you can see this this Lovejoy coupling here. I've got it hooked to a small 1 1/4 horsepower motor. I've got the switch on, and I've got the amp meter wired up. So I'm going to plug it in. And you can see that it's starting to, that it's reading, and I guess theoretically what I'm thinking is as you put a load on the motor, this isn't a very good test, but as I put a load on the motor, I should be able to see the amps move up and down. And I can't really slow it down too much with anything I've got here, but anyway, you get the idea. So I think that should be helpful. And then the only other thing that might be worth noting here is that I've wired the switch up so that the on is up and off is down, so that in the event that something should fall, there isn't too much above this. However, I think just in any sort of practice, if something were to fall down and hit this, it wouldn't turn the machine on. So I saw that on somebody else's channel, and I thought that was a good idea, so I've done that here. So anyway, let me go ahead and finish getting this together in a box and bring it over to the machine and get it wired up. Alright, so this thing was scary. When I took it apart, I said, well, you know, the wiring up here we saw was obviously just horrible. But then I said, well, let me just not leave anything to chance. Let me get in here. Ow, shit. Whoops. Alright, hold on. Alright, so I was trying to demonstrate this thing, and I reached in and I touched the wire here to show you, and it was plugged in, which was dumb. But it hit me. It didn't hit me hard, but anyway, it shocked me. And I said, well, something's wrong here. And I've got one of these testers. It's GFCI. You can test ground fault interrupts, or you can figure out what's wrong with the circuit. And somewhere in one of the switches out here, the high and the neutral got reversed. So anyway, you can see the lights that light up on here. I've got the two left lights and the two left lights there, hot, neutral, reversed. That's why theoretically I should have been able to touch that, but anyway, it ended up hitting me, and I'm gonna have to go through and pull each one of the switches and figure out where that wire got switched up. So anyway, not a big deal, but anyway, in theory this thing works. Let me put it back together and turn it on. There's no load on it, so it's not going to read any amps, but we'll see it move. So, alright, so the inspection plate is back on here now, so I can't shock myself. I've got the pulley off the back of this thing right now, so it's just a regular motor. Usually, we'll see it here in a second. Watch the amp meter. See. It'll peg out, and now it's running at like, 2 amps or whatever. So, anyway, that's, I think, a better system for this than what was on here for sure. That's, also, if I didn't show you this before, let me add it in here now. Yeah, it's just absolutely scary, the wiring that was in here before. But anyway, I think that should be good. My neighbor is actually an electrical inspector, and so next time he walks over, I'll have him come over and bird dog this thing for me and see if there's any way I can make improvements on it, or if there's something I did that wasn't kosher, so to speak. Anyway, I am still researching belts and cleaning up the mag chuck for this thing. So anyway, this is just a little electrical section of this part, and I think I'm going to either end this video now or maybe pick something else up. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing yet, but anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and have a good day.